Quote number 1. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. This means that if you want to explain something in simple words to someone, you need to remove all the layers of something and understand it deeply yourself. Doing this is a very difficult task because you need to understand all the aspects of something. If you have just memorized facts on a surface level, you won't be able to articulate it fully to someone. It actually means that you make use of plain language and not throw out complicated jargons. Quote number 2. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. This means that you need to learn from what is past and apply the learnings in the present moment. For the future, you need to hope because you cannot see what is going to happen in the future. The second part of the quote states that you need to question all the time in every aspect of life. The ability to question is the real form of intelligence. The solutions of the biggest problems of life are figured out using the tool of questioning. It is the way that technological advancements have been made in the world. Quote number 3. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. This means that geniuses in reality are those people who have excessive curiosity filled in them. They do not have supernatural mind capabilities, but they are able to observe things in a different way that other people can't. Their way of looking at the world is different, although, at the level of mind, they have the same abilities. Curiosity allows them to stay with problems longer and figure out much better solutions. Their curiosity allows them to observe things and have one pointed focus, which becomes the ground at which they lay the foundations of the biggest inventions of the world. Quote number 4. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. This means that one has to continuously work and keep going in life, or otherwise you fall down. Literally, if a bike suddenly starts to lose a lot of speed, it is much more likely to fall down. You have to work to keep intact. The vehicle of life should never stop until you are dead. Also, all parts of your bicycle must be in good condition, so you have to take care of them. Even if one of the parts stops working, the bicycle may not be able to move forward. Also, in the process of riding a cycle, you have to keep your eyes focused straight ahead so you know where you are going. Quote number 5. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. This means that the biggest of solutions are not figured out with knowledge but with imagination. Knowledge is potential power, so the important bit is how to use that knowledge in the best possible way. Imagination is basically seeing things in a way that others can't see. Imagination is actually true intelligence because knowledge is also present in computers. The intelligence of the computers can be called artificial intelligence but not real intelligence. Another important thing is that there can be no imagination without knowledge, so we can actually say that imagination is the next level of knowledge. We cannot imagine something without having any knowledge or information about it in our head. Quote number 6. Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding. This means that peace is not something that is attainable with power or control or by force. This is because people will always have conflicts amongst themselves as they don't understand each other and each other's point of view. And understanding does not mean agreement. It actually means understanding the other person, their motivations and what they think about you. Understanding actually means seeing reality as it is and figuring out solutions to all of the problems of your life. Quote number 7. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. This means that if we observe closely, almost 99.99% of the people actually live for themselves only. They live for their needs, desires, motivations, etc. and do not care about others. But what we have to understand that the actual meaning of being human is not living for yourself only. If you live for others, then that life is actually valuable. If you lead this kind of life, then people will actually remember you even after you die. But in reality, very few people get to live this kind of a life. Quote number 8. Any man who reads too much and uses his brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. This means that excessive reading of books, blog posts, newspapers, etc. actually reduces your thinking ability. Furthermore, it restricts your horizon to the domain of the type of content you are reading. You can no longer push your limits and think broadly about something. Whatever we take in or read is written from only one particular standpoint. To see it from different possible angles, we will have to use our mind to understand it fully. You must not depend on the content you read, but you must depend on your own mind. Quote number 9, put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. This means that time is actually relative. When you are actually stuck in a bad situation, time becomes really slow. And when you are having a blast in a situation, time goes by really fast. So time in reality is just a state of mind. So the thing to learn here is that someone who wants to be better should never make this excuse that she does not have time to do it. If you want to do something, do it today. If you are really passionate about doing something, you have a lot of time, and if you are not interested in something, you will never have time. Quote number 10, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. This means that in order to attempt to do something new, in the beginning, you are bound to make mistakes. The main thing to understand here is that you should learn from your mistakes in order to grow and become better. Even if you are the best of the best, you will make some level of mistakes. So keep practicing and trying new things, and with time you will lessen the number of mistakes you are making.